Welcome to Mission 2, Lesson 9 of Zearn.org. Our goal today is to solve multiple-step multiplication word problems. And we'll know we've been successful if we are able to complete Mission 2, Lesson 9 of Zearn. This lesson combines previous skills that we have learned into one lesson to solve real-world problems. It can be helpful to remember some tips as we're working through the solutions to these problems. First, draw models to act out what is happening. This helps you organize your thoughts and come up with a clear plan for how to solve your problem. Next, do the math on paper. Don't try to do the math inside your head. With all those numbers floating around, it's very easy to get confused. By doing that on paper, you also have something you can come back to when you need to double check your answers. Another tip is to use a multiplication strategy that works for you. We've gone over a couple of different ones, area models and standard algorithms, but you may also know some from 4th grade that you learned, such as the lattice method. Also, estimate to see if your answer seems reasonable. If your answer and your estimate are very far apart from each other, then that tells you there may be a mistake somewhere you should take a look at. Finally, double check your math. If the Zearn program tells you it's wrong, before you try to put it in again, double check your answer. Go through and pay close attention so that you can spot simple mistakes which may make your answer off. So as our goal states, we need to follow multiple steps in order to be able to come up with our final answer. Let's take a look at the first problem. Last summer, Megan and Henry earned money by mowing lawns. Megan mowed 135 lawns, and Henry mowed 9 lawns less than Megan. Megan charged $21 per lawn, and Henry charged $28. Who made more money, and how much more did they make? So when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking to myself, how can I draw this so that I can solve the answer? Well, I know that Megan mowed 135 lawns. And I know that Henry mowed 9 lawns less. But I don't know yet how much Henry mowed. I know that this is 135 lawns, and that he mowed 9 lawns less. So that tells me if I take 135 and subtract 9, I should be able to find out how many lawns Henry mowed. But by doing the math, I found out that Henry mowed 126 lawns. But I want to know who made more money and how much more they made. So I need to find out how much money each person made. I know that Megan mowed 135 lawns and charged $21 per lawn. So I'm going to multiply those together, and I know I need to do the math and then come back when you have the answer. 1 times anything is itself, so I know that this part of the problem is 135. This 2 is not really a 2, it's a 20. So if I put the 0 from the 20 down here in the ones place so it can hold the ones place just like it does in the number 20, then I can multiply by 2. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 more is 7, and 2 times 1 is 2. And so then I want to add those together. So now I know that Megan made $2,835. I need to find out how much Henry made now. Pause and set up your problem. I know that Henry charged $28 per lawn and that he mowed 9 less than Megan did. I figured out down here that that was 126 lawns. So I know that 126 times $28 will give me my answer. Pause here, find the answer, and come back and let's check. So my answer is $3,528. My question asks, who made more money and how much more did they make? So I can now tell the answer to part of that question. We now know Henry makes more over the course of the summer, but we also need to know how much more Henry makes. How could we solve that? Right, we can subtract. So I'm going to take Henry's amount and subtract Megan's amount to find the difference. And we find that Henry made $693 more that summer. Let's try another problem. As we go through each step of the problem, I will ask you questions that I want you to be able to answer on your own. So at these points, pause the video, come up with the answer, and then come back and let's check together. Our problem says, the Everything Gigantic store was having a sale on gigantic boxes of candy. They sold 18 boxes with 326 pieces and 29 boxes with 204 pieces. How many pieces of candy were sold? Draw a model to show the information and how you might solve this problem. I've drawn two areas to represent the different kinds of boxes that were sold. And I have a question mark up here because I don't know how many pieces that is altogether. I know there were 18 boxes sold of one type, and then there were 29 boxes of another size that were sold as well. But I need a way to be able to represent the number of pieces that were sold of each type of box so that we can find out how many pieces altogether were sold. Pause and come back when you have an idea. I'm trying to find out how many pieces were sold in all. And so I need to represent the number of pieces in each type of box. There were 18 boxes with 326 pieces sold, and there were 29 boxes with 204 pieces. If I can find out how many pieces were in the 18 boxes and how many pieces were in the 29 boxes, and then add them together, I will have an answer to my problem. Pause and come back when you have found the answer to each of these two parts of the problem. Did you remember to put your 0 from the 10 and the 0 from the 20 in the places? These are the two answers that I came up with, and now they need to be added together. When you've done that, come back, and as you can see, there were 11,784 pieces in all that were sold. Remember, these types of problems have multiple steps and they take practice to be able to master. Don't be discouraged if you're needing to practice more than once in order to come up with the correct answer. I hope this helps.